Hello, everyone. Hey, Scott with Heritage Farms. Boy, we have an exciting project today. The good people at Yintatech, Yintech, contacted me about doing a review on one of their products. And these guys specialize in farm implements. They do a lot of pallet forks. In my case, I got to pick out some debris forks, which is kind of unique. It actually bolts onto the front of a bucket, allows you to pick up, brush piles, trash piles, mulch, things of that nature. It kind of helps, slide stuff into the bucket, allows it to make it easier to pick up any big piles of brush that may be uneven or wouldn't fit in the bucket otherwise. So let's talk about this thing. So, man, they contacted me, and within 48 hours, this box showed up at my house. I have to admit, though, the box was a little beat up, man. It's got some holes in it. I'm a little concerned that maybe some of the parts are missing. The packaging looked a little bit weak, honestly, but you know what, though? It's pallet forks. It's a debris forks. It's metal. It's not like it's going to actually hurt the content. My only fear is if something happened to some of the hardware or instructions or something like that. So we're about to get a pocket knife out. We're going to dig into this box, see what things look like, and we'll get it mounted over here on the bucket so you guys can see what this is all about. I'm excited. In the meantime, if you're new to the channel, please hit the thumbs up, leave us a comment, subscribe. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it greatly helps our channel. We'll also put a link in the description and also in the upper right hand corner of the screen to the Amazon store for Yintatech, where you can check these guys out. All right, so once we got the package open, I was actually pretty excited. Man, everything looks good. There was no damage. I loved how they had the hardware cable tied to the actual forks. So all in all, even though there was damage on the box, the contents looked great. There was no scratches or anything on the forks. And the only thing I was disappointed about, there is absolutely no instructions. Zero instructions. But hey, I'm a smart guy. I can figure this out. There's not much to it. It's a simple design. It actually slides on the bucket. You have two adjusters that actually come down and clamp on the bucket to hold it in place. And let's see how this thing goes. Let me tell you though, man, it's heavy. So you can kind of get an idea at this point what it's going to look like. So let me get all this trash and debris out of the way, and then we'll get to bolting this thing on, and I'm ready to go play. Okay, so here we go, man. So, all right, I like it. The welds look good. The quality looks good. I don't know if this thing is powder coated or painted, but even like the little yellow on the ends of the spikes. But man, all the welds look nice. Look how thick the metal is too on the edges. It's nice. It's reinforced really well on the front end. The design looks pretty good. I have to admit, I was skeptical about these bolt-on forks, but you know what? As far as quality is concerned, kudos, Yintatech. I mean, it looks like a nice piece. So this thing's going to actually slide over the edge of the bucket. We got the clamp that holds it in place, and we'll see what happens. I have some concerns about how the bucket's going to hold up. I feel like if you get really aggressive, you could bend or get your bucket a little bit crooked, considering that the forks don't go all the way across the bucket. Of course, they're designed to go on anything from a small compact tractor to a large tractor. Who knows what size bucket each individual's going to have. So let's put the little adjuster nuts and screws on here, and we're going to get after it, man. It's a cold day in North Texas. The sun's shining, but man, it's like 45 degrees, and we have a strong south wind, so a little bit of a wind chill, and I'm bundled up, man. It's a cold day for me anyway. All right, let's see what's going on. I like how you have the levers. I heard some of the guys that have smaller compact tractors had problems because the arms on the levers would hit the side of the bucket, but that's not the case for me. So what I'm trying to do here is to center this thing about halfway on each side, equal distance. I'll probably get a tape measure here in a minute and just double check it. But right now I'm just eyeballing it. I'm trying to get it held in place and tighten this thing down here. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. We're about to go have some fun. All right, so you got the little adjuster deals. Then you have a set nut that you're actually going to come back. I'm going to take something like a crescent wrench, or I'll find an open end wrench and we'll adjust it, make sure it fits properly. But I'm looking underneath here to see if it lines up with the supports on the bottom of the bucket. Unfortunately, it does not. It's pretty close, but I'm going to get a tape measure at this point. So we'll check this out here and we'll figure out if I got this thing centered or not. My guess is I'm going to be within an inch or two of being perfect, but I don't know. We'll double check. So after searching forever to find a tape measure, finally came back with one, and we're off to the races. So, hey, not bad. I'm like an inch off here, so a little slight adjustment. But you get the idea. Total installation time on this thing is literally under 10 minutes. It took me longer to get it unpackaged just to look at it than it actually did to install it. Once you've done this, I bet you can install or remove this debris fork in less than 2 minutes total once you figure it out. Okay, things are looking kind of good now. I'm digging this. So let's get a crescent wrench. We're going to tighten this down, and we're going to be ready to hop in and go to work. You got to have a crescent wrench. Everybody has to have a crescent wrench inside of their tractor. I keep a hammer, crescent wrench, pliers, multi-screwdriver. There's just some tools you just got to keep in your tractor when you're out in the pasture working. Okay, look at that, man. Wrap things up, clean it up. Let's see what we got here. So I'll give you a little bit more of a close-up, but quality-wise, I'm really impressed with how this thing looks. The fit is snug. I was a little worried if it would actually wobble any, but man, it's pretty solid. I am concerned that some of the branches and stuff may catch on these T-handles. May be better off if the handles were not there, if it just had a nut on the end of the adjustment where you could use a socket to tighten it or an open-ended wrench. But the levers are nice because you can do a hand tightening, but I do believe they're going to get hung up on some of the limbs and branches. But until we try it, we don't know. That's just my thought. So looking underneath it, you see how it's supported. It does a pretty good job. I am concerned again, though. I wish it was mounted perfectly on those support arms, but it's not. But I think it kind of spreads the weight and distribution out. Once again, look at those welds. I mean, I'm kind of impressed with that. All right, enough talking, man. Let's get this thing out and let's go do something. If it does break on that leading edge, I am worried that you could warp your bucket, or that these pins may actually bend or punch a hole in your bucket if you got really crazy. I really wish they had a 1 or 2 inch square footing on there, but hey, all in all, Yintatech debris forks. Kind of digging this so far. Let's go play. It's time to get out of here. All right, guys. Well, the first thing I did when I got here, I thought, man, I'm just going to start easy. So I had a couple of little small limbs, just scooped them up, absolutely no problems. So started easy, just trying to fill out my way of working with it. You can see I then tackled a bigger tree that I cut down last week. Took a little while to find the center of gravity, but look how easily it picked it up. I would have never been able to do that with just the bucket. But with the debris forks on the bucket, it actually made it pretty easy. And then you can come around here. This is at our shooting range that we have on the ranch. And I'm working on building a bigger backstop. And you can see here, man, how easy it is to come up here and just dump this tree. Look at that. Love it, love it, love it. And the forks remain intact. You can actually use it to push a little bit. I wouldn't get carried away once again. I mean, keep in mind, it's not a lot of support there, but for what it's doing, if you're smart with it, it does an excellent, excellent job. Look at that, man. I'm starting to learn my way around it. Once again, I've only been working on this now for about 15 minutes. So a little bit of a learning curve, but once you figure it out, look how it was able to just slide that little brush pile right up. Not to mention it looks mean. Looks like something from Terminator or, Transformers or something. But here I come again. So, man, you can see I'm just driving around the farm. I'm finding limbs and debris that we cut down previously. And what's nice is, man, you just come in there and you scoop it up. I like how the forks are far enough apart that things really don't get hung up. I was a little concerned that trees might get caught in between the forks. But you can see, man, it dumps pretty easily, picks up pretty easily. All in all, I'm really impressed with this. So here I picked up 2 tree limbs that we cut down last weekend. Look at this random one laying out here in the pasture. And I want you to watch. I've got 2 on the tractor already, and I'm able to come up here non-stop almost. Come in here, make an adjustment. I get lined up, tilt the bucket down, scoop them all together, hit the incline, pick it up, and look at there. It wasn't a totally clean grab, but it was enough that I could make it work. And the big thing, I didn't get out of the tractor. I didn't have to manually do anything. I enjoy working inside the tractor. So all in all, man, these forks, I'm pretty happy. You can see here, this is a typical load that I was carrying, and it really did a good job of coming in and just being able to pick them up. So if you're in the market for some debris forks or a way to improve your bucket, this is a great bolt-on. Highly suggest you check them out. As always, glory be to God.